Hey everybody, what's up? I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can, seeing as my mom's in the shower right now. It's the only time I have during this President's Day weekend to give you my thoughts and review on Elimination Chamber tonight. I know a lot of people are going to be indifferent about it. I mean, I don't honestly blame them, especially with some of the results and predictable and not predictable. I mean, honestly, if you really want someone's honest-to-God opinion and rant on this, check out the Renegades of Wrestling at their channel, the Renegades of Pink Rants or whatever they're calling themselves. And check out Pinky's rant at the end of that review because, trust me, honestly, it's a rant that is definitely worth watching. And to quote Stat Boy, if you have kids, don't let them listen because this is good. This is hardcore, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's get into Elimination Chamber. First of all, this is actually one of the rare times, in fact, one of the probably only times during the year that I will get the first 3 WWE pay-per-views of the year. The reason being is because March always gives me a break, if you will, so I can basically pay off most of the bill and be ready for WrestleMania the following month. Anyway, getting into Elimination Chamber, if you will. The pre-show match was Tenzai and Brodus Clay against the Rhodes Scholars. Brodus and Tenzai, being a new tag team together, go over, they get the win. And it looks like this is going to be some kind of a fun, fun dancing kind of tag team. We'll just have to see if they keep it like that or whatever they're going to do. Alright. Then, the first official match of the pay-per-view, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Big Show and Del Rio. I'll be perfectly honest, I am not too happy with the fact that WWE keeps constantly curtain jerking the World Heavyweight Championship. You do not curtain jerk an established championship like this, with the legacy it has. But honestly, my opinion on it is I think it's their way of rubbing in the fact that their championship is more prestige than the World Heavyweight Championship, especially depending on who holds it. Anyway, though, the match between Big Show and Del Rio was a decent match. I will give it that. Del Rio towards the end had to redo an insecurity that he was going to do on the Big Show. Big Show was holding that bucket that Ricardo always brings down, so he had to do it 2 times, and the second time he hit the bucket on Big Show's head and kicked the bucket, I should say, on Big Show's head, and then got him down long enough to get him in the arm breaker again, the cross arm breaker. The first 2 times, Big Show was able to get to the ropes or kind of use his power to lift Del Rio up and slam him down. But this time, he got him to tap out. And a lot of people, like the Renegades of Wrestling, and I'm sure the Off the Ropes show and the British Fist are going to bring this up. Big Show was basically this far, like here I am, like I'm right here. Big Show was like this far away from the rope, and yet he tapped out. So a lot of people may say that doesn't make sense, but obviously it's set up for a reason for what was going to happen. Now I thought with them continuing on, with them prolonging a little bit of the after-match celebration, Big Show was going to attack Del Rio and then Ziggler would cash in. That did not happen. But anyway, Del Rio retains and he's set for WrestleMania, and there's a reason he retained. And we'll get into that in a minute. Next up we had the United States Championship between Antonio Cesaro and The Miz. Okay match. Kind of ended very awkwardly. Basically, Miz was tripped up by Cesaro, and I guess Cesaro planned it this way or whatever, and then Cesaro accidentally got kneed right into you-know-wheres, although it didn't look like it to many. And so Cesaro retains by disqualification. Miz not happy about it, gives Cesaro a real kick in the nuts to kind of, I guess, continue the rivalry, the feud. And then after that, after that match, we end up getting, and this is one thing that really, I'm definitely in agreement with a lot of people here on the YWC and the IWC. Whether they're okay with what happened tonight or not, but a lot will agree. You do not take the namesake of your pay-per-view and place it third. Honestly, that's what they did. They placed the fucking match, excuse my language, but they placed it third. The Elimination Chamber third. You couldn't put the Divas match third. You couldn't put your impromptu match third. You couldn't do that. You couldn't make it your impromptu match third. You couldn't do that. Nope. They had to put the Chamber match third. Because again, it shows you how much they think about the World Heavyweight title, seeing as though it was originally a WCW title. Anyway, the Chamber match I thought was pretty good. I mean, it was one of the better Chamber matches in recent years. Not a lot of high spots in there because you didn't really have many high flyers. Although you had Daniel Bryan hit a knee off the top rope onto Jack Swagger on the metal grate. But it was, I thought it was okay. I thought it was one of the better ones they've had in a while. And, when Mark Henry came in, oh man, this guy he fucking cleaned, excuse my language, but he fucking cleaned house. He literally left people laying. He took out Daniel Bryan first. Then he took out Kane. I mean, Kane was going to go for his vintage clothesline off the top, right? Well, Henry catches him in a bear hug and then turns it into the world's strongest slam and pins him. So essentially, you had Mark Henry pin on his own, individually on his own, the tag team champions in one match. That's saying something. And of course, they're still trying some dissension between Daniel Bryan and Kane, which again I believe is going to lead to Kane and Daniel Bryan champion match at WrestleMania. I just feel that. But yeah, Mark Henry dominated for the majority of the later part of that match, but then got basically double teamed, triple finished, if you will, by Swagger, Jericho, and Orton, and he ends up getting eliminated. One of the high spots, if you will, that happened when Mark Henry got in there is he takes Orton and literally just throws him right through the plexiglass and into the chamber door. Go into the chamber pod that I think Orton came out of. So that was pretty intense. But the double suplex on Henry by Jericho and Swagger and was actually pretty good. So it was nice to see Mark Henry get in there and dominate. And then in the end, it came down to Jericho, Swagger, and Orton. Orton ends up eliminating Jericho with the RKO. After he misses the first time, he hits it the second time. And then after he does that, you have Swagger roll him up 1, 2, 3. And Swagger ends up winning the Elimination Chamber, making him, I think, the third or fourth guy to win the Chamber in his debut, to win his debut Chamber match. To win the Chamber match and his debut in it, if you will. And pretty much, I think anybody would agree that when they gave him Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantel, this past Monday, and they did the promo they did on Monday on Raw, and then they had a promo that they did before the Chamber happened, it kind of pretty much told you, right, this past week, pretty much told you it was going to be Swagger and Del Rio. I think, it doesn't take a fucking genius to see that. And excuse my language again, but it doesn't take a fucking genius to know that, hey, if you're going to go in this direction character-wise with Jack Swagger, and you're going to have Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantel going in the same direction character-wise, then what is the logical sense do you have in Swagger Del Rio? Just saying. And then after that, we had the 6-man tag, which again I thought was pretty good. It definitely showcased a lot of everybody's abilities. The superstars, the all-stars, if you will, of Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback, and The Shield. Definitely let them all shine. Great spot in the match was several you had was 3 vertical suplexes or stalling suplexes by Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback on the Shield. And then towards the end, you had Roman Reigns spear Sheamus right almost into the announcer, right almost into Justin Roberts and Lillian Garcia. And then you have him come back in and spear Ryback, causing Rollins to fall on him and get the 1, 2, 3. Now, does that surprise a lot of people? Yeah, it does. It pretty much does surprise the hell out of a lot of people, because you would think you have Cena on the same side with Sheamus and Ryback, and you would think they would win. But they didn't. They gave it to the Shield, doing what I have always said the TNA needs to do with Aces and Eights, and that's continuously build the Shield up and give them momentum. And they did that correctly. Even it was a surprise, but it was the right decision if you think about it. It's something that, again, I think TNA needs to learn to do with Aces and Eights, especially going into lockdown. But anyway, it was a surprise, but definitely helps continue the momentum of Aces and Eights. Ryback left kind of upset. Makes me think they're going to have Ryback probably do a gauntlet kind of style match, maybe at WrestleMania. And then we had the impromptu impromptu matchup that I talked about between Ziggler and Kofi. Ziggler came out, kind of did a promo saying, hey, I should be on this pay-per-view. I'm the Money in the Bank winner. Yes, Swagger's got a title shot, but that's not guaranteed. I'm the one that's got a guarantee. So basically he's doing this promo. Booker T comes out and says, hey, look, instead of taking up time and wasting people's time and wasting the show's time, I'm going to put you in a match, basically. That's what he basically did. He said, instead of boring people to death and taking up their time and wasting it, let's have you go in a match against someone that has a similar style. He did that by having him face Kofi Kingston. Have him doing that by having him face Kofi Kingston. It was okay. It was an okay impromptu match. Ziggler gets the win. And then you have Big E come in and basically beat the shit out of, basically run over and beat the shit out of Kofi. Because Kofi ended up, I guess, embarrassing him by diving on him about 2 times during the match. So I guess they're going to set up for maybe Big E and Kofi down the line. It doesn't make sense, but I guess that's what they're doing. Then the Divas match was next. Caitlyn and Tamina. I know a lot of people weren't looking forward to this. But it was a decent little match. Tamina did dominate most of it. It looked like she was going to become champion, but she missed the Superfly splash. Caitlyn then spears her, gets the win. And I do like and I know some people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I do like the little backstage showing of the Divas to kind of let you know that they are still relevant and that they still think of the division as being very, very important. And then we get to the WWE Championship match, which was better, I will say this, than the Royal Rumble match between Rock and Punk. I like how Punk at the beginning, before Rock came out, was trying to get the referee and Justin Roberts to say, hey, I'm the champion. You announce me as champion, kind of deal. But it was decent, great chemistry here, great philosophy. I mean, I like how Punk was trying to get Rock to lose his cool and get disqualified. I like how he did everything he could to get him counted out, even did a rock bottom on the Rock on the announce table that did not break. Really back and forth, really a good back and forth match here, if you will. I like how the referee bumps happened, twice. And then towards the end, of course, you have CM Punk wanting Paul Heyman to give him the title so he can hit Rock with the title while Heyman's holding him, and instead Rock ducks and Paul Heyman gets hit and Rock ends up getting the rock bottom in the 1, 2, 3. So again, I thought it was better. I will agree that it was better than the Royal Rumble match. And again, great philosophy, great chemistry there mentally and whatever. And it definitely looks like it's been confirmed because they showed it right at the end. Cena and Rock 2 for the title at WrestleMania. So, whether people like it or not. But again, as I said in another video, can you tell me how else you're going to get 90,000 people in that stadium? So, or 90,000 plus people in that stadium. So that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And that's my review of this year's Elimination Chamber. Peace out.